Before pyramids rose over Egypt, another world was already shaping the first blueprint of urban life. Thousands of years earlier, across Iraq and Syria, people were learning to build dense settlements, organize labor, and create true cities. We often imagine cities beginning with Rome or Athens, but the reality is far older. Long before classical empires, early societies here experimented with population density, storage, labor management, and monumental construction. For decades, scholars believed true cities began only in southern Mesopotamia. But discoveries show a broader revolution. Multiple communities were already experimenting with scale, administration, and ritual centers long before written history. The Fertile Crescent, shaped by rivers and seasonal floods, became humanity's laboratory for settled life. After the Ice Age, stable climates let agriculture flourish, allowing villages to grow, merge, and eventually push toward true urban density. The Ubaid people pioneered this world. They lived in farming villages with simple temples, mastered irrigation, and traded pottery across great distances. Their stable culture laid the foundations for the urban explosion that soon followed. For centuries, the Ubaid landscape remained stable. Small towns, modest temples, and scattered farms. But around 4000 BCE, everything accelerated. Populations grew, villages merged, and the pace of construction began to transform daily life. This surge marked the beginning of the Uruk period, the moment villages became towns, towns became centers, and centers grew into cities. Humanity was entering a new phase, coordinated labor on a scale never attempted before. At the heart of this transformation stood Uruk. Formed from earlier settlements, it expanded into a vast metropolis of tens of thousands. Its monumental mud brick wall, stretching kilometers, demanded leadership, planning, and vast communal effort. Yet Uruk was not alone. Far to the north, Tell Brak was growing in a different pattern. A central hub surrounded by satellite villages that gradually fused inward. Urban life was emerging in multiple places at the same time. This parallel rise reveals a deeper truth. The city was not a single invention. It was a regional response to population pressure, expanding trade, and new forms of cooperation. Urban life emerged because the world was ready for it. To understand how these early megacities functioned, we must examine their core institutions. Before kings or palaces, the temple was the center of everything. Religious, economic, and administrative life flowed through its walls. The temple's power came from control of food. It collected surplus barley and wheat, stored them in massive granaries, and redistributed rations to artisans, builders, and administrators, freeing them from farm work and fueling specialization. In this system, specialized crafts flourished. Potters mass-produced bowls, sculptors carved stone, and early metalworkers shaped the prized new material of the era, copper. Urban life depended on thousands of hands working in sync. Evidence from sites like Tell Brak reveals a striking ritual tradition. Thousands of small alabaster figurines with wide, staring eyes. These offerings, left in the eye temple, reflect a belief in divine watchfulness and communal devotion. As populations expanded and cities grew wealthy, conflicts over water, land, and trade routes increased. In this unstable world, new leaders rose, charismatic war chiefs who defended settlements and began claiming greater political authority. These big men, as early texts later called them, rose from crisis leadership to permanent authority. Over time, they challenged the temple's power, claiming that their strength, victories, and decisions were sanctioned directly by the gods. As rulers gained influence, cities became more complex. Administrators tracked goods, labor, and storage with clay tokens and early pictographs. These simple marks would evolve into one of humanity's most transformative inventions: writing. Uruk's influence spread far beyond its walls. Traders carried pottery, textiles, and ideas across the Near East, establishing outposts from Iran to Turkey. This network, the Uruk expansion, linked distant regions in the first large economic web. But even powerful networks can falter. Around 3000 BCE, the system began to strain. Climate shifts and long droughts destabilized irrigation, shrinking harvests and weakening cities. Population centers contracted, and distant colonies were abandoned. Yet the idea of the city survived. Though populations declined, the blueprint forged in Uruk and Tell Brak hierarchy, specialized labor, monumental architecture, and state power became the foundation on which later civilizations would rise. The first megacities were more than buildings. They were engines of coordination systems that organized food, labor, belief, and power. Through them, humanity learned how to manage large populations and build societies of strangers. They also transformed identity. For the first time, people belonged not just to families or villages, but to vast urban communities. Temples, trade districts, and shared labor tied strangers together in a new, powerful social fabric. Even as their power faded, Uruk and Tell Brak left a lasting blueprint. Their systems of hierarchy, storage, trade, ritual, and writing became the foundations of later kingdoms, empires, and the urban world we know today. Their walls may have crumbled, but their influence remains. The first cities taught us how to organize, record, build, and govern. What innovation from these ancient megacities do you think shaped humanity the most? Tell us below and explore more with us.